Hi guys, and welcome back to another Starcraft Remastered replay cast. As you can see, we have a very interesting engagement this time in between the two pro players from the South Korean scene. So let me just start by introducing the players to you guys as we are spawning here in the upper right. In the blue it is Zero, but this is of course the AK from Queen, a very known player, I believe also the recent winner from the ASL tournament. And spawning here in the upper left in the green, should of course know who this is. It's of course BISU, one of the best known Protoss player, if not the best player in his prime. So quite an interesting game we have here in between the two pros as a spawning once again on a 4 spawning location map. And we see already a very early move out here by BISU with his pylon into this place, and also moving out very early, scouting the map, really wanting to know where exactly Queen is hiding. So BISU indicates to us that it is going to be indeed a fast expansion build order with a very likely wall of with a gateway and a forge and some cannons here into this location. Let's have a look at Queen. He's going straight for his spawning pool, so no intentions for him into going for a fast expansion build order. So quite interesting, different strategies actually here in between the two pros. As you can see, it is quite a short replay, not the long 35-minute replay which I have recently casted here onto this channel, but still it is BISU and Queen. So we should have a very interesting game here in between them. We are continuing to observe the build orders. We have the forge indeed here for BISU, as he's very likely going to continue with a cannon or two into this location. Worker wise, pretty much the same worker amount, as Queen is also preparing his expansion. But BISU is going to scout it very soon with his probe. Actually, he did send a second probe, so he really wants to know. Perhaps he's going to try a cannon rush versus this location right here, as his forge has finished, so he could be sneaky and try to place some pylons here into this location and attack the Zerg. But of course the spawning pool is finished, so Queen with a very fast spawning pool should be okay here versus the early scouting from BISU. And yeah, the expansion has started. Let's see when or if exactly Queen is going to be going for his second expansion. Usually the Zerg like to take this position right here. The first cannon has started. There's the nexus for BISU. So BISU playing very ordinarily, very safe, very macro orientated game by him. And yeah, let's have a look. Gas has also started. We see once again the spawning pool very close to the gas. Is it going to give a boost towards the drones from Queen? We're about to find out, as indeed he has taken another expansion into this location. So quite an interesting move by him, as of course BISU is going to leave the probe here into this location just to see exactly, or if it's going to be a tier 2 upgrade by the Zerg, or perhaps the Zerg is going to take this location for his tier 2. And yeah, BISU just being annoying as much as he can with this probe, trying to steal some mining time. But yeah, let's have a look. There indeed is the tier 2 upgrade around the 3-minute and 30-second mark for Queen, as the overlord is now also arriving here into the expansion point for BISU. So quite ordinary gameplay here for both players. And let's see if indeed Queen is still trying to go for some Mutalisk. It would be very interesting to see some Mutalisk, or if he's going to try a lurker drop perhaps, or some Hydralisk with some Zergling rush would also be a possibility for him, as of course BISU should react with a Stargate and with some Corsairs. The Corsairs are much used, as I see in the previous replays, by the Protoss versus the Zerg, of course to hunt down the overlords, of course to keep the Zerg supply block. And yeah, we see the tier 2 is about to get finished. I believe the probe has been sniped, as a zealot is being sent out. Actually one probe, oh, the probe is still being left alive. He sees the expansion here from Queen, so he might try to add more zealots with speed. There we are indeed, the production type here in the upper left part, as speed is also being done here for the Zerglings. And we do indeed see the Stargate for BISU, as very soon some Corsairs should of course pop out. Might be some scouts, but very rarely seen some scouts. It would be however very cool from BISU to harass the mineral line with some scouts. And the overlords here as well. So only one cannon here for BISU. Speed has been done here for the Zerglings as they march forward, but a nice block immediately. Great reaction here by BISU, nicely blocking the entrance with those probes. A very quick reaction, but he might try to add another cannon into this location to be more safe. Queen can of course transition into more and more Zerglings and she's very likely going to try to push here forward. It could even be a transition into some Hydralisk. The way is now pretty much shut only here. There might be a small gap for those Zerglings to move forward. Let's check the main from the Zerg player. There is that Spire, so he's very likely going to be going for some Mutalisk, either that or for some Scourges. Scourges could also be an interesting idea for him, as the Zerglings are still parked here into this location. The first Corsair is moving out onto the map just to hunt down those overlords here from Queen, as Queen is more and more transferring those units towards the next expansion point. And yet another macro hash by him, so lots and lots of macro hashes, and there indeed we have the Hydralisk then, so we could see a transition into straight Hydralisk for him, as BISU still scouting for those overlords. And yeah, let's check his main here as well. Speed should start very soon. There indeed it is the speed for the Zealots, as another cannon, I believe it's a cannon, either that or a pylon. No, it's actually a pylon. So BISU with only one cannon here, feeling very, very safe. As Queen is not going to commit here forward. And yeah, slowly but steadily we're closing towards the 10-minute mark. Still no major engagement. Been very close to BISU, not allowing him to move out. And at the same time feeling safe here into the back. He might even try a drop harassment with some overlords. It could be a possibility here into this ledge, as the first Scourge are also moving here out on the map. Scouting nicely the base from BISU. But one cannon should be finished very soon. Some Corsairs might get a good connection here versus the Scourges from Queen. So a great micro here by both players. Both players showing pretty much their skill. The cannon is about to get finished here, so BISU needs to be careful, as almost one Corsair has been sniped. But now the Scourge have fallen, and yeah, BISU should be safe into scouting the map for some overlords. I believe this Corsair might have taken a kill, but no. And yeah, notice that BISU also goes for the weapons 1 upgrades and the ground upgrades, as well as the first Zealots are moving out. Queen sadly not paying attention, his Scourge have fallen here, and BISU now with 6 Zealots moves straight forward, and speed has been done here right on time. This can be very deadly, but the Queen should be fine with those Hydralisk. And very soon some Lurkers will follow up for him. Upgrades also go up, and in comes BISU with the attack, but there's also many Hydralisk here for Queen, as they're nicely being microed in the back. The SimCity is also very perfectly here done by Queen, as he has the hatchery in the front and the evolution chamber. But yeah, it looks like BISU is pretty much going to commit here forward. Not that many Hydralisk into this location, so BISU might be more successful. However, the Hydralisk are moving forward here for Queen, as he's of course having to defend this location. 6 Zealots it is as they move forward, trying to get a good surround versus the Hydralisk. And yeah, one Hydralisk after the other is falling, but one Zealot has fallen here as well. The Overlords will also take quite some damage. In the end this will be cleared, but damage has been done, quite a large amount of damage with BISU with his Zealots underground. And yeah, Queen of course being supply blocked. And yeah, of course now it is going to get cleared. Of course Queen could have tried to pretty much ignore this and launch a straight attack here forward, but it's already 3 cannons for BISU, as the damage against the supply pretty much continues here for BISU, as he's going to hunt down more of those overlords. So yeah, that's pretty good save indeed by Queen. He's now moving once again forward with massive amounts of those Hydralisks, but yeah, the reaction is very fast here by BISU, as of course the High Templars will be the natural counter towards so many Hydralisks here for Queen. And in the end those overlords also take quite some damage out of the Corsairs, so the Corsairs are also doing a great job forcing Queen to leave some Hydralisks behind. And yeah, sadly for BISU he has no energy left for the first High Templar Storm. But yeah, the Zealots are now moving forward into spooking this back. And yeah, speed of course has been done, but yeah, the Hydralisk of course holding their ground. Finally the first storm is out, and the first major storm here versus the Hydralisk, as more and more damage is being taken by them. In the meantime, of course, BISU tries of course to move out with his Corsairs as we're closing in towards the 10-minute mark. So yeah, good hold here by BISU, good attack by him as well, as things have settled down a little bit. So Queen looks like he's going to try to pretty much punch his way forward through this expansion. Of course, he could also try to use the Overlords to do a drop into this location, pretty much avoiding all of those cannons from BISU. Let's see if this is going to be the case, as we have some dancing zealots and even a dancing high templar here onto this ground. The Queen sees the expansion. Let's see what his reaction is going to be. Like he's going to take this expansion here as well, and of course the wall of here giving great protection towards the newly established base by Queen into this location. And the Corsairs are still out onto the map, hunting down the overlords here from Queen. Some Scourges are still here, some Lurkers have also been added here by Queen, as BISU still tries of course to snipe as many units as possible, and of course he tries to secure this expansion point as well. But yeah, Queen is not going to wait any longer. He's going to regroup his units into the middle of the map. It looks like he's going to start a straight attack, I believe, not into this location, but this location right here. However, there's so many cannons already being done by BISU, so let's see if he's going to try to commit, as both players are regrouping their units, and here BISU with a great scout. However, so many zealots are still being left alive, and Lurkers are now getting dropped to deal some splash damage. Some dragoons are being added to give more attack power for BISU. At the same time, BISU also takes his 12 o'clock position. So a nice move by him. An observer is in the air. Lots and lots of splash damage is being taken here by BISU, but the Lurkers have been cleared. And a great storm by him as well. I believe BISU feels now very confident to move forward, as the Lurkers have been sniped, and he is able to move out a little bit further, giving more protection towards his newly established bases. And the Corsairs also in an intercepting move versus all of those overlords here from Queen. So Queen might try to transition into something else, perhaps some more Lurkers, perhaps some Defilers will be much needed for him. Let's see if he has tier 3. No tier 3 yet for him, as he is adding more and more of those units. Massive amount of production here for him, but now he's actually playing very defensively all of a sudden, leaving the units behind. This of course will give a economic advantage towards BISU versus his opponent, as his other expansion is about to get finished very soon, and the newly established expansion might get interconnected with some cannons, with some pylons here by him, as he's also feeling very confident to move here forward with his observers. But the Sim City is very nicely done here by Queen. Lurkers also nicely spreaded versus the Psionic Storm from the Protoss. And yeah, the Lurkers very good into defending against the masses of the Protoss here, so BISU might wait a little bit. You could even add a Arbiter to do some recalls perhaps into this location. Even a shuttle booster has been added now, so we might see some drops with some high temper storms versus the economy from Queen. Queen needs to be careful here not to catch a high temper storm, nicely microing the units behind. Still a storm from BISU catches some Hydralisk here for him, as BISU is also now moving out, looks like into another location. This one is not that good defended, just a couple of Lurkers and some Hydralisk here, so BISU looks like he's going to move forward towards that, as he's getting close to being maxed out. So maxed out soon, BISU attacking here into the newly established base. If he takes down this base and this base, it will be very much of an effort and an advantage here for him, as Queen should not be moving out here with his forces versus BISU. So BISU still making up his mind, still controlling the map, but at the same time Queen with a counterattack here straight forward towards this newly established base from BISU. BISU realizing this, of course, he's moving back with his main force to intercept the move out by Queen. So quite an interesting strategic gameplay as we're closing in towards the 15-minute mark. Still anyone's game, of course. All of a sudden Queen in a more defensive posture, and one Lurker is going to be taken out, but yeah, so many Lurkers are still being left alive. The observers see this, so we very likely going to be seeing some high templar storms being casted by BISU very soon. Some Zerglings are in the front, but they will of course stand no chance against so many Dragoons and Zealots. At the same time, Queen is now moving out with some Hydralisk, trying of course to snipe the High Templars. This is his plan, but yeah, he has to be careful to not getting that splash damage out of the High Templars. So much splash damage indeed, as more and more units are being clumped up here together by BISU and by Queen. Let's see, the High Templars in the front, not a good position for them. Some storms might get casted very soon, as some Zerglings will of course stand no chance soon. Another High Templar storm is going to be needed. Yes indeed, and yet another one, and even yet another one against the Lurkers and the reinforcements from the back. BISU with fantastic High Templar storms here versus the opponent being able to clear so many of the units from Queen. However, some reinforcements are pouring forward. There's just a couple of Zerglings here for Queen. still very good versus the Dragoons. At the same time, a counter-attack from the back. Still, so many Dragoons are still being left alive. And all of those units from Queen, look at that, so many storms are being casted. Massive amounts of splash damages, so many high tempers are still being left alive as lurker after lurker is falling here for Queen. And yet another great storm here for BISU. So very patient gameplay here for BISU. He's able to snipe the units from his opponent and just leave a couple of lurkers being left alive. Yeah, the spore has to be sniped as the observers take quite some damage out of this spore, as once again the high tempers are here, but not that much energy is being left for them. As let's just see for how long Queen is going to be able to hold this, and I believe BISU is going to be likely going to try to snipe the spore as fast as he can, just to allow the observers to move forward for him. However, Queen with many Zerglings, all of a sudden not that much energy being left onto those Templars. And yeah, Dragoon is falling, so the Zerglings are doing quite a great job versus so many Dragoons. I believe more Zealots will be a transition here for BISU, as now some Archons will be plotted here forward for him. So many reinforcements are pouring in forward for BISU. In the end, this will be abandoned, but yeah, the damage has been done. However, Queen with also a very great hold with his lurkers. Let's see if he's having some reinforcements here, as BISU looks like he's going to straight move forward with his upgraded Zealots. Let's have a look at the upgrades. 3 weapons upgrades already for him. So lots and lots of damage against the units and the buildings from Queen. And yet the Zealots are moving forward, taking some damage as well, but also dealing great damage. As of course this will force Queen to bring back his units into this location. And the lurkers have arrived. This is going to be cleared very soon. However, BISU buys some time for his economy as well, and for some still massive amounts of Zealots are getting produced here by him, as he has also taken this base and this important base right here. So pretty good game by BISU, but still not able to be punched forward. Now we finally have some Defilers for Queen, so the Defilers, of course, the logical answer against so many Dragoons from the opponent. So Dark Swarm once again is going to be here for Queen, as he also taking this base and this base right here. And all of a sudden Queen looking really strong, as he's now pushing forward towards the newly established bases from BISU. And let's see if he's going to be successful. Some dropship with some Reavers this time. So Reavers, it is going to be not high templars for BISU, as the newly base is getting scouted by the Overlord. So BISU has to bring some reinforcements back. Luckily for him, some cannons have finished. He has vision. He is going to bring. Now he's actually going straight to counter-attack the newly established bases here, of course, from Queen. So let's see if he's going to be successful. At the same time, Queen moving forward now with a great Dark Swarm versus the new other base from BISU. So BISU has to make up his mind. He's going to launch an attack here with the Reavers, but sadly for him, a little bit exposed, and the shuttle has sadly for him fallen. So BISU in a good position right here. However, he needs to be careful not to get surrounded by the units from the Zerg, as the Zerg is coming in from the back with his lurkers. However, BISU reacting immediately with a nice storm. The Reaver also dealing good splash damage towards the units. The Reaver is a little bit exposed now, so he needs to be careful not to lose those 2 Reavers. He's trying to micro them back, but of course they're very slow. Great Plague is being casted now. The Archon is going to try to tank so much damage as he can, but BISU looks like he's going to push more and more forward. And yeah, the lurkers also take quite some great damage out of those 2 Reavers. So the Reavers with many kills here, rebuilding those carrots, and the expansion is going to fall here for the Zerg, as the next expansion connected with an Idol Swarm, I believe, is going to fall here as well for Queen. In the meantime, some reinforcements will be attacked here, but yeah, BISU looks like he's fully going to commit forward into the next established point, and those Archons, of course, with the splash damage, dealing great amounts of damage versus the expansions from Queen. Yeah, all of a sudden we have a huge supply gap, a huge advantage here for BISU, as he's attacking more and more of the units and the buildings from Queen. And I think that BISU might have done it. Look at the supply gap, and even the worker count is in favor here for BISU. Queen tries, of course, to counter with a small group, but yeah, there's so many cannons still being left alive. Zerglings are still being sent out, but 2 important bases falling here for Queen, as the next bases will be targeted very soon by BISU. So BISU with a great game, of course, forcing the GG here from 0 from Queen. At one point I believe that Queen had the advantage here into this location with his Dark Swarm, with those Zerglings on the ground. Yeah, in the end, BISU just proving too strong, and those two Reavers were a great idea by him with the splash damage, and after casting the High Temper Storms, of course, you can morph them into an Archon here, so the Archon with splash damage, also great versus the Zerglings on the ground. And let's not forget that he had a 3 weapons upgrade, even 1 armor upgrade for him. Great stuff here by BISU. Queen tried a nice comeback with the Dark Swarm, but in the end, it was just way too much from BISU, way too many cannons for him. Nice defense. A nice expanding way by him. Let's just check the statistics really quick. Once again, I'm going to be clicking left and right. Very interesting and strong game in between the two pro players. Right, so I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be seeing, of course, in the next replays. This is Tommy signing out.